by the right of the council, by the will of the Force. Welcome back into another episode of the Galaxy famous, Halcyon approved Jedi Talk podcast. You are following us at Jedi Talk Podcast on Instagram, youtube.com/Jedi Talk, and holy shit, YouTube, we're in the positive by 30 subscribers the past like 5 days. Thank you so much. TikTok at Jedi Talk and all over the social medias. I am Tom Okery, part of the High Council, and the regular council, of course, joined as always directly across from me. We were talking about a big old McDonald's McGuffin today. Evan T. Boucher. Evan, how the fuck are you today?
Adiga and good journey. That was so good I almost forgot my intro, but that's fitting because I was with, I went to visit Doc McGuffin today at Hollywood Studios.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, or McStuffin or McMuffin or whatever you want to call her. But
very good.
Yep, good day visiting her.
Good Doc.
She's a lot of fun.
I didn't know she was still around.
Yeah, not many people do.
People don't care about that character, right?
No.
Speaking of getting around with Doc McStuffins, our other co-host on regular council, Brad Hughes. Brad, how the hell are you today?
She's your kid.
Doc McStuffin, Kyle's mom.
Oh, I owe you a horn. I owe you a DJ horn.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good. And we have a very incredibly special guest here today on Jedi Talk. So it's so funny how MetallicA always connects me to certain individuals, and then now we end up here in the Star Wars community. So I had made mention and teased that we were going to be joined by Starcruiser Goer Honor participant.
Guest?
Guest.
No, Goer Honor. Goer
Honor.
Yes.
Head of
Passenger.
the MetallicA chapter Attitude Club in New York, Austin Manning. Austin, how the hell are you today, man?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I'm like super stoked to have found a Star Wars MetallicA mashup situation.
It does seem kind of niche. I don't really feel like those two things would go together. That like, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know. Is that sarcasm or
kind of? Like,
I feel like
because as soon as I said it,
I feel like
that
we
actually makes all the
Yeah, I was
sense.
going to say, my very minimal knowledge says
Yeah.
it makes sense.
look, you got the OG trilogy fans who are the same as like Metallica sucked ever since Justice for All and
that's
everything
true.
after the Black Album.
I don't want to take
So-
it to that terrible fandom side, but yeah.
Well, every fandom's got the terrible fandom, and
Yep.
Metallica fans,
Yeah.
Austin could tell you, they've got it. So,
Dang.
so you were a special guest on the show, Austin. So you know, and correct me if I'm wrong, and let us toot our own horn, toot.
I already did that today, actually. So
He tooted his own horn.
yeah.
He masturbated, Brad.
Oh, thank you. I wouldn't have figured that one out.
Yeah.
When Tom's delivery of the post joke is better than the joke, that's how you know.
No,
The joke
I
sucked.
was just Steve burning it.
Yes.
That's really all I did there.
Yeah.
So Austin had you found Jedi Talk just organically from Starcruiser stuff, right? After going up on the Halcyon.
Yeah. When I got back, of course, it was all sort of like, I need to absorb everything Halcyon. Like, I don't want this to be done, kind of thing. So when I got back, I was just sort of, looking through some podcasts, and I was like, oh, give this a listen. And so it was literally just like a shot in the dark, and then noticed some 72 Seasons album songs in the intro, and I was like, that's interesting. Because it was like, you hear Metallica stuff, of course, like, Master of Puppets and things like that, and like people will kind of use sound bites, and it's like that doesn't really intrigue me that much. But then it's like, oh, the new album, that's interesting. And then ended up figuring out that some people that were on my voyage, and you guys are friends, and they're also on the podcast and Instagram, things started, showing up in my suggested feed, and so
We slid into that algorithm. Let's go.
Yes, the algorithm worked for Jedi Talks.
the
Take
algorithm
that,
is
Disney.
definitely working. My FBI agent was working.
Yeah, there it is.
For sure. So I was like, oh wow, okay, there's some definite overlap here. So
you
I
were
reached out and was like, yeah.
So you were on Evan's cruise, right? So have you been on just one cruise?
I thought you looked familiar.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was
just the one.
your phone.
Yeah, that was my only one.
The last one, well, not last one, but the third to last one or second to last. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm stupid.
Third
September
to
24th.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. So that was my one and only, my one and done. Well, air quotes, done.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
So here's I have a
You
loaded
went out with a
question
bang.
for you. I have a loaded question for you. Give us your Halcyon thoughts. I know that's a very loaded question.
But we like to
But
keep
we
it to
like
an
to-
hour,
we
so
like-
good luck.
Yeah.
I want to know what you had to think about your experience on the Halcyon.
For like my experience or like
All
what I
of it.
think's gonna
Well,
happen.
This
No,
might help a
experience
little
up.
bit too. Did you go spoiler free or spoiler heavy?
Pretty spoiler free.
Dang.
I don't know if you want my story of
Yes,
how
please,
I
everything.
ended
Give
up
us
doing
everything.
it and all that.
please.
Yeah. So my roommate is also a big Star Wars fan, and I, like many people, did not even know that the Starcruiser existed last year. I think I actually went to Disney World for the first time ever last February with him, and he's
sorry.
been a lot. So we were at Galaxy's Edge, and I was obviously having the time of my life, and the Starcruiser came up, and I was like, "What's that?" And so he was telling me about it, and I was like, "Oh, that's wild! I had no idea that existed." Which was something I heard a lot on this past trip to Florida before my voyage, which was nuts to me.
We've heard that a lot too recently.
Yeah, so of course it was one of those things. It was like, I want to do it at least once, and I was like, well, maybe next year or something. And then, of course, we got the announcement, and I think I was like laying in bed, and I see that Twitter's blowing up, and people are talking about it. And I texted him, and he's like, no, there's no way. Like, it can't be ending. And so, kind of scrounged up everything that we could. He found somebody who's kind of a Disney travel agent of sorts, but has booked a lot of Starcruiser stuff for people. And, we were like, we'll try to make it happen. I think he had like just enough on his credit card for the deposit. And she like got through in the first hour
Wow.
or so. And
Wow.
we got a booking. And then we found a couple of people, or three other people through, was it Sweet Finder?
Yep.
Sweet May Finder.
That's what I did too.
And so our friends are now great friends, Aaron and Joe. They'd done it twice before, and they wanted to do it one more time. And then we had another friend, Chuck, and it was his first time as well. So Aaron and Joe were amazing in helping us kind of guide us, but not spoil it, And
Sure.
I was so wrapped up because we were at the end of September, so I was doing all my Metallica tour stuff for all of August, and I just could not think about the Starcruiser. Like I was traveling so much. I was in a different city
Did you get the
every
black
weekend, and I was flying home in between and working, and so I was like, I know I'm going on the Starcruiser. Everybody has like amazing costumes and stuff. I can't even think about that right now.
That's probably good though. It kept
So
your
it
mind
was
off
pretty
it.
spoiler free. I didn't totally know what to expect. I knew a little bit, but not that much.
Okay.
But
Nice.
it was a pretty insane couple of months trying to get to that point.
Sounds like it. And it
What's
sounds
the
like
black ticket?
The black ticket is you buy one ticket for at a set price and you go to any show on their tour.
Shit.
Yeah,
That's cool. How
What
much-
are they calling it? The I Disappear this tour, right? Or
Yeah, they call it I Disappear this
Is it
tour,
a-
but I think most of us who did the first black ticket tour, we still just call it the black ticket.
yeah, it's the black ticket. Yeah,
it's like the magic key holder.
yep,
Yeah.
that's exactly what
It's
it
an
is.
annual pass to Metallica.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. So fucking.
So you
Yeah,
have to make a-
no, that's basically what it is.
How much does that cost?
How much was it this year, Austin?
It was about it's about $1,000.
That's
It's worth
That's
it.
it.
It's worth
Dang,
it, bro.
holy cow.
So worth it.
Yeah, which is it is worth it. I mean,
I'm
the
sure
first
they're hard
time
to
they
get.
did it was a shock. It was after the last album came out, and they announced the tour, for the new album, and announced this ticket, and there was only 250 of them. And
Wow.
a lot of us that travel to tons of shows, they know who we are. They're aware of
Yeah.
a good amount of us, and
They
was
understand
kind
their
of
fan
like
base? Crazy.
throw us a bone.
Lars knows a lot of people's faces.
Must be nice.
Yeah, and so that one was, like $600,
Yeah.
and you could go. It was for the entire North American tour, and I can't remember how many total shows there were, but I did 17 shows
Nice.
on that
Dang.
tour
Damn.
in like 5 or 6 months, and then now, of course, it's not as limited. It's almost twice as expensive, and now it's broken up into different quadrants. Like now it's 2023 North America, 2023 Europe, 2024, 20 But some people can buy. I have friends who have bought the diamond or platinum or whatever, which is going to all. You can go to all the shows if you want for both years and both continents.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that costs like $3 or $4 grand or something.
That would be such an amazing video to watch someone do. Like I followed Metallica across.
Yeah. Be a groupie,
year.
basically, right?
Yeah. That'd be an interesting vlog.
Is that still a thing? I don't even know.
Yes, you'd be a groupie for DJ Rex.
Yes, I would.
Yes,
and
yes
Gaia.
you would.
Now this might
I love
sound
DJ Rex.
same. This might sound blasphemous, but I've never done any concert ever. So how many concerts or shows do you do to break even for these tickets?
So if you go to at least, I want to say with the first one, it's like if you went to at least 5 shows with the cost of tickets for like GA tickets at the time, it justified the ticket. Like it paid for itself.
Yeah.
And I already knew I would do more than that. So 17 shows for the price of like, 5 was
that's a steal.
Steal. Made it
That's
out.
crazy.
100%. That's awesome.
Especially now with how expensive concert tickets are. I mean, back then, I think that was like, 2017? So I think the tickets for floor, after fees, maybe like $150 to $180, depending on the venue. And then, but now for this particular stadium tour, I mean, floor, you're spending like $300 almost, or over $200 something for one show.
And
So
now
it's
they've opened the Snake Pit to let more people, and that's kind of up there.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. So do you have
And
to?
now you can buy Snake Pit. You couldn't do that before.
Right. That
So
was
do
just so
you-
special.
Once you have these tickets booked, do you also have to book a concert reservation?
No. Metallica's
That
not
doesn't make sense. You should have to do a concert reservation.
Kind of. No, you do kind of. There is like it wasn't as crazy as it was the first time, because before, basically you have, I think, up to 48 hours before the show
with
to like
the black
email
ticket.
this special email and let them know that you're like coming.
Okay.
And like you're on like a list, but if you don't show up, I don't really think there's any consequence to that. It's like you just didn't show up.
That's not the only list Tom's on.
Yeah, it's not the only list I'm on. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. It was
Talk about
but it was
his
pretty nuts.
agent.
It was fun, but it was exhausting. I just got back on Monday from my last show for 2023. And
Detroit.
yeah, so I just did all of them since August, except for there was a show that got canceled in Phoenix.
Yes. Yeah.
Because James Hetfield got COVID.
Yeah, James got COVID. The second show.
Yeah.
He got COVID. There was actually people complaining about his voice, and they cut the set by 2 shows the night before, and there was something visibly wrong with him. And then he tested positive for COVID the next day, so they just pushed it to the week later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they still had it.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go to those, and then
and you sold your tickets, right?
I did. Yeah.
Now I don't know how much you
Yeah.
two have talked, Tom and Austin, but have you ever found like a crossover? You're like, I was at that show. Like, have you ever done that?
Oh, you were at the 40th shows,
We
right?
have not yet. Yeah, I was at the 40th.
Yeah, I was
There
at
you
the
go.
40th.
Okay.
Were you at S&M 2?
Yep.
Yep, I was at
I was at
S&M 2.
There you go. Nice.
I've been to a lot of shows in Chicago, Arizona. I was at Rock in Rio Vegas 2015.
Did you almost drive?
I
your
was
car
on
into a
stage.
guardrail?
At Rock
Oh,
in
you were
Rio
on stage
Vegas.
at that one? You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I had tried
was on
so hard
stage
to
for
get
that,
onto the fucking
I won
stage
a
for
meet
that.
and greet for that show.
Oh, sick. Was that the first time you met them?
Yeah, that was the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is dope.
I would
like
awesome.
that.
That's so cool.
I would meet them about a year and a half later after that.
I like these like niche parts
Yeah.
of niche fandoms too, where it's like, did you go to this thing that I went to?
Yes.
It's like, yeah.
So I
And
was,
you can
I
point
was,
it out.
dude, that concert, the Rock and Rio one in Vegas, like changed my life, literally and figuratively. It led me down the road to being where I am right now with my wife. I met one of my great friends, Sean McCullough, there, who was at my wedding. That show was sick. Like Hollywood Undead, it was on fire.
Yeah.
Lincoln Park, that was the last time I saw Lincoln fucking Park.
Yeah.
Oh my God, thinking about that.
That was
great
that
show.
was an insane weekend.
Yeah.
That was a really fun show, and that was my first time also going to Vegas. That was
Oh damn.
it was I mean, life changing in terms of Metallica shows for me. Like I went to the first Orion Festival, and that was my first Metallica show. So it kind of snowballed after that.
That's
but
cool. Did you see them when they were the undercover band and played all of Kill 'Em All? Were you able to check them out when they did that?
At the second Orion.
Yeah. Dehan, that's so
it was
cool.
that was pretty cool. And it's funny because Dane DeHaan lives like near where I used to work now. And so I would see him like in the subway and stuff all the time.
That's fucking cool.
Like, it's done. But yeah, but no, that Kill 'Em All set was insane. A friend of mine and I were actually just talking about that when we were in Detroit and just how rough the crowd was.
Really?
Which, I mean, I guess we could explain. So Metallica had a very short-lived festival for 2 years, and they started their own music festival. It was a little too eclectic, I think, to kind of work for Metallica fans, I think. There was like an EDM tent. There was like film stuff and car show stuff. It was this big thing. But the second one that they had, the first one, they played both nights. The second one, they only played one night, and Red Hot Chili Peppers were the headliners the first night. So a lot of people decided, I'm not going. Metallica's not playing both days. So a lot of people ended up not going because of that. And I did go. And the first day, there was there's the lineup for the festival, and I'm kind of checking out other bands. And they had this band called DeHaan, and that was the only band I couldn't find any information about. And that's the name of the actor who was in their concert movie that was coming out. So it ended up being like a surprise set on like this tiny little van's stage next to like a half pipe in the middle of a field. And I got tipped off by somebody and I went over. There was a few people kind of hanging out. And then all of a sudden you see where it had DeHaan up on the stage. It was like spray painted out and had like Metal Up Your Ass, which was supposed to be Metallica's first album.
That's a tip off.
Then an alert goes through on the app, and it's like that meme from like Pirates of the Caribbean where you see everyone just running. Like, everyone turns around and everyone's just running to one side of this island.
That's insane.
And so it's just like this tiny little stage, and they played all of Kill 'Em All, and the crowd was nuts. I have a friend who like hurt her ankle, ended up having surgery because of that. A buddy I was just with was talking about how he was on the rail, and this guy like put his arm and put him in a chokehold and was trying to pull him off the rail just to get his spot. And he ended up like getting in a fight and then crawling through the crowd to get out. Like it was insane.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of battles up on the rail. I was on the rail for that Rock and Rio show, and I fought quite a bit of individuals trying to take my spot. Yeah.
Yeah, it can get pretty ugly. That's for sure.
Had to fight for Kyle lots of times too.
Well, that's because he can't see over the rail.
No, he can't. So we'll get back to Metallica, but I do want to hear your cruiser story. This is a Star Wars podcast.
Yeah, Star Wars podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry. So
this is entertaining.
For sure.
I had a blast. I mean, it was. I keep saying to people, it was. I knew it'd be fun, but I didn't expect to have as much fun as I did. And to kind of find this community that I found in just this very short, excursion. I'm always a huge fan of seeing, people who are fans of music or a show or movies or whatever, that are as excited about that as I am about Metallica stuff. And so to see all these people, like it felt like my Metallica community, but in this like little Star Wars microcosm.
I could completely see how you mean that. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. And so I definitely felt that, and it was really, really cool, and it was really hard to leave. It was really sad to leave it. And I know like I've heard a lot of complaints from people about obviously cost. It is very expensive. It was a stretch. I am still paying it off. It was a lot to make it happen, especially in such a short amount of time for me. But with my money tied up in Metallica stuff, so it was a lot. But I'm so glad I got to do it. But I can also understand in a way why it is priced the way it is.
Yep.
The cast members, incredible. The crew, I mean, the level of service was nothing, I'd really experienced like that before. and I would never want, those people to have to take a pay cut to like make things work, and some of the missions and the dinners, and it's taking some of those things away. It's like you don't have the same thing anymore.
Right. Yep.
So I wouldn't want to lose that. I mean, I know that the theories of it coming back, I am clinging to all sorts of hope that it will come back. It's going to relaunch in some different form, and it'll be different, but we'll be there and we'll do it. And I definitely want to go back, if, and I'll say when it does, but, I don't know if it'll be exactly the same.
Yeah.
I don't know how they'll change it to make it work for maybe a different level of fan. I don't know, or people who, I don't know. I don't know how they'll do it, but I wouldn't want to. The way that it is that I experienced it was amazing, and I can understand it. And like, I'm not thinking about the cost or any of that after the fact. I was like, that was an insane experience that I'm still talking about. I'm sure people are tired of hearing me talk about.
No, yeah.
Nah, you can come on here and talk whenever you want about that.
Yeah. There's a lot
Bring Lars
about
on with you.
Yeah, there's a lot about what you're saying too that is definitely something to unpack, but things I've never even thought of. Like you said, it was more fun than you thought it was going to be, and I guess it was for me too. I did not expect it to become this life-changing thing where it's all I think about, basically. I was like, this is going to be like Galaxy's Edge level of like, this is cool, and I'm going to love it, but I don't expect to become obsessed with it, and I basically did become obsessed with it.
Man,
Not basically.
Yeah, not basically.
He did.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But
I'm low again, man. I don't know what's going on. I'm like,
but the price too. Like I forget, we did the math once, and it's basically the same proportionally as going to like a Super Bowl game or a big concert per hour. Not like obviously 6,000 versus a couple hundred, but when you break it down per hour, it's basically the same price as a Super Bowl ticket or a big concert. So I don't understand all the backlash on that, because no one complains or makes fun of people for watching a football game, but they'll complain about a 40 to 48 hour experience. Makes no sense.
How much is it to meet Metallica, right? With what they're selling now at the shows, like is it $2,500, $3,000, something like that?
It's more now. The last, it's depending. I think in the city, it's like $4,000 to, or like 4,300 to something else. But you actually don't even get to meet all of them anymore.
Right. I know James.
You only
get
to meet two of them. And you don't know which one it's going to be, and it's 99.9% not going to be James Hetfield.
Well, I that's like 100% not James, because he's wasn't the official rumor, right? Like he had like kind of a stalker that went a little too far. Like,
you say the official rumor?
Yes, the official rumor.
That is the life of a Star Wars fan.
There's a
honestly.
few rumors as to why the meeting he stopped for a while, but there's many rumors.
Yeah. We don't have to go into
stalker,
that.
I know blacklisted people that are not allowed anywhere near him, or anything Metallic related anymore.
I would famous.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's the ex-wife, now ex-wife. But when they introduced the paid packages a few years ago, he was doing them for the first couple of years.
Okay.
I think it might have been a contractual thing, maybe, but he was doing it, so a lot of people bought it when it was $2,500 so that they could meet him.
Right.
But then when they brought it back, now it's like more expensive, and you don't get to meet them all, and you can't take anything to get signed anymore. It's like a whole thing. But he did just do the book signings for his new guitar book, and I went to both of them.
Oh, you did? That's badass. What did he say? What'd you say to him?
I did not really say anything. I didn't. It's so short. It's just like it's a book signing, not a meet and greet. So you go up, and he knows your name to write into the book, and it's like, how's it going, and thanks for doing this, and handshake, that kind of thing. It's a very quick thing.
I got you.
Totally.
Yeah, I was a +1 for the other one, so I didn't talk to him the second time.
Okay.
I just went with a friend, but it was
badass.
But yeah, it's cool.
I did something similar. I met Lewis Black before I was even doing stand up, and after the show, I brought my book for him to sign, and he goes, I go, hey, so nice to meet you. You're really funny, and I was like 18 or something, and he goes, yeah, man, I'm a comedian. And I was like,
that.
I was like, yeah.
He's like, yeah.
Yeah. All
like,
right, thanks.
Thanks,
Just
Sherlock.
walked away.
Bye.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
He goes, well,
Yeah, it's just like,
I am a comedian.
I don't know. What do you say? I don't know, but it seemed
You
like
don't
it
wanna
went
be
okay.
boring, but
So
you
I
don't wanna
think
come off
now
like a
there's a
psycho.
chance that he'll
Yeah.
be doing some more of this kind of stuff. But anyway, side note. But
No, I'm that same way.
cost wise for the Starcruiser, I think I mean, we got lucky too. Like we did find amazing people to share a cabin with, and I think I kind of approached it the way that I approached touring with MetallicA stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I have a community of people. It's like we find our friends or find people to split Airbnbs with or rooms or split the cost of a car to to drive to another show or whatever. So we kind of did everything we could to make this feasible enough for ourselves to go.
For sure.
It's nothing I could ever do on my own. Like,
yeah, and no one bats an
I'd
eye
have to
at the
give
concert
up
stuff, but yeah,
doing a lot of other stuff to do that.
right. Now
Sounds like a good thing.
you went in with a couple seasoned veterans and professionals, it sound like, and that's one of the thousands of things I wanted to do one day is like take people that I can't speak, take people that I've never been, like my brother Austin and my mom and dad, and kind of like see it through their eyes and guide them without spoiling it. So I never got that chance. So how did that go for you and your new friends too?
I mean, I don't know if I annoyed them, but I definitely had it. They were really great. Honestly, I think they were excited for us to experience it and kind of see us get to experience it. I think it was exciting for us to see them do it because they got some shout outs. They had a little special moment with Croy at the finale in the end. They were actually the couple that they were saying like the order brings, the First Order brings family together and families together, and they were like reunited with their long lost son.
Yeah.
So it was them. Those were our cabin mates.
Oh my gosh.
And
Did
so they got to
in?
have like this moment after they'd been on a couple of times and it was their last time. So that was really cool to see them experience that. But yeah, I knew that there were certain things as things were going along that I wanted to do. And I was like, I don't know how I should answer this question in the data pad because I don't want to get shut out of, this storyline, but I don't really want to go 100% this way. And so they were kind of able to sort of guide us through that a little bit, which was really nice, but without spoiling it at all. And I don't feel like I missed anything.
Wow,
that's awesome.
That's impressive.
Like I got to do everything I really wanted to do.
Did you see the holocron?
I did see the holocron.
Hey, nice.
Very good.
That was I basically went like Jedi and First Order, and so I had like my finale with Croy and on the bridge, which was really fun, and then got to do the whole holocron thing and the lightsaber training pod, and then be with the two of them with Rey and Croy running into each other into the hall.
Oh, you got to see that moment.
Have that whole thing. So that was super fun.
I'm jealous. I saw Rey with a trooper, but I never got to see Rey with Croy. So that's impressive.
Yeah, that was cool. Aaron and Joe, they hadn't experienced that part either because of paths that they had done prior. So this was their first time kind of doing a little more First Order stuff, and so they had never seen that. So that was really cool for them.
There's so many things like that are just right place, right time, because there's always something going on in some corner of the ship. You just have to be in that corner. And that's something I missed the two voyages prior, but I saw it on my last one. Partially in help from Tom, giving me like some clues on like make sure you're here at this time and whatever. But it also just worked out that I had no other missions and nothing to do. So I was like, let me go to that corner of the ship. And then Rey came on and a stormtrooper approached her. So that stuff's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like one of the best pieces of advice they gave us and just kept reiterating, the couple of months leading up to it was, no matter what you think you want to do or what path you think you want to be on, talk to every single character.
Yeah.
Like interact with everybody. And I'm so glad that they told us that, because I think that, you might be thinking, oh, I don't really care about talking to this character because my person is doing this. And,
that's what we kind of did the first time. We kind of stuck to like 2 or 3 characters.
That's what I did too. I only did Croy. And it was great and it was awesome, but I kind of regret not doing everybody all 3 times. Because the second 2 voyages, I was like, I'm talking to everybody.
Yeah.
So
our second
one
was awesome for that.
Now, what was like the biggest...
I was going to say, one thing I loved watching is like when you notice people kind of finding their path and their groove, right? They find those characters that they really connect with. Like my roommate ended up, doing kind of a smuggler, scoundrel kind of path thing. So seeing him kind of connect with Wraith and, really get into Gaia's crew and doing all of that stuff, like I thought that, it was awesome. He just that was his path, and he was perfect experience for him.
By the way, that Wraith, he's going to be joining us a week from tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
On Jedi Talk.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's our Wraith.
That's going to be an
obviously it's the only Wraith I've had, but he was great. He was awesome.
I can comfortably say he's the best Wraith.
Oh, he's...
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard he's up there. I've heard that a lot of people really, really loved him as a Wraith.
Now...
We wouldn't just have any Wraith on Jedi Talk. That's not true. Yeah, we would.
Yeah,
of course we would.
We totally would.
We'd have anybody from the Starcruiser, Blue Crew included.
I actually would love to talk to somebody that was
Blue Crew.
Yeah, because
Heck
I feel like there could be some really interesting stories there.
100%.
Because yes, the characters get the focus, but they're really there the entire time.
Right.
And as good old Bob Chapek says, that the cast members are the entertainment.
The magic.
Well, that too. But in Galaxy's Edge, he was like, our cast members are the entertainment and are the story and stuff. So he's right, but he's not right. Like, pay them if that's the case. But they also are at the same time. They do have backstories and they do have characters and interactions.
Who was your character, Austin, that you just kind of clammed onto and connected to?
I liked Croy a lot. I just thought he was hilarious. I really liked, our actor. I'm forgetting his name because I know his other
Sage Starkey
thing.
Right?
Was it?
Yeah. So,
yes.
Are you aware of the Sammy file? Do you know what that is with us?
I know a little bit about it.
The lore of the Sammy file.
Yeah, so if you want to just hit us up.
File.
But Sage was approved to join Jedi Talk. He did. We posted it. They took it. Disney, the mouse asked for it to take it down. That was like a year and a half ago.
Was it that long already?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, no. It was earlier this January. So
almost a year.
About a year. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
So we at the Heroes of the Halcyon party, it may or may not have been getting passed around on a QR code. So.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a good idea. It was fun.
To be fair, we waited for the last day for it to be closed.
Yeah.
I mean, to be
there
fair.
may or may not be some QR codes aboard the Halcyon at this point.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Seriously?
We'll never know.
I don't know. There might be.
I don't know. There might be. He has so much conviction in that.
I love it so much.
You don't lack conviction.
I don't think I knew that.
I don't know either. I don't think I knew that.
I know there's one of the Sammy files outside of the venue for Star Wars Celebration last May. I know there's some out there. I saw them on a stop sign.
Not unless
great.
a homeless peed on it now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I hope so.
Maybe Kyle went and Baltimore brownied it or something.
The fact that he knew what that was upsetting.
Thank you.
Depends how high up on the pole it is.
It's pretty high. He couldn't do it with a step ladder.
Yeah.
So what was the biggest Dank Farrick moment? If you would, on the ship, the moment. Geez, I cannot speak. That blew your mind.
Moment that blew my mind. I don't know. That's hard to say. I think I don't know. The ship muster was actually pretty fun. I didn't really know what to expect. It's I've never been on a cruise, so
same.
Yeah, I'm I don't really know exactly what a muster is, and then I was okay, now I do. But all the little nuanced things that were happening, while I'm listening to the captain, I'm out of the corner of my eye, I see Wraith talking to Wani over by the sublight lounge, and no one's around them, and it's not
right.
You just happen to catch it, and something's going on, and you start getting a sense that something's going on, and then Croy getting on the ship and the troopers showing up, and it's oh, we're just gonna stick around. So that was we're just gonna stay for the rest of the voyage. And it's okay. And then looking up and just randomly seeing, us going through an astrofield and all of that stuff. It's just oh yeah, these things are happening. All these little things were really, I don't know, kind of blew my mind. Just all the little details.
Yeah. That summarizes Starcruiser pretty well. The first time, the first voyage for me, it was the Force Pole at the end. Like that, there's a lot of stuff that blew my mind. But when I saw the Force Pole, I was like, that really blew my mind. But the other voyages, it was tons of little things, just like that.
Yeah.
And some of it were like story-wise details and story things and characters talking. But some of it was like during the Acoustically Gaia set, they have Gaia and Sandro singing in the middle of the atrium. But if you look up, the ceiling has spotlights that are designed just for that moment to shine down on them. And I'm like, they put spotlights in the ceiling just for a 10-minute part of the show. And it's like they thought about that far ahead, that it was going to work and that lighting would be that beautiful. And it's just insane.
Just remembered what we learned about the roof of the atrium, that it was still designed when the Empire had the ship. God, I just fucking remember that.
I forgot about that too.
And I think it was on the second voyage I learned that the brig was built by the Empire, so that's why the brig is there.
That's awesome.
I learned so many things each voyage, and the little things blew my mind.
Did you happen to read any of the Halcyon comic books before going on board?
I didn't, and now it's like I'm going back and wanting to read a lot more. I actually, even just the other day, just watched the Star Wars Lego Summer Vacation thing, and because I didn't know that it had anything to do with the Starcruiser, but then our cabin mates were telling us about it, so I didn't want to watch it right away when I got back. I was just like, it's too fresh. Like I don't want to be sad not being there. But
you should read
the other day.
You should read Princess and the Scoundrel.
The moment of them going up and the music you hear is the same music you hear when you're going up to the ship, and I'm just like, oh man, and I'm like, there's our table in the Sublight Lounge, and
that's where I had.
So
one
I feel like
too
I'm gonna
many.
do that when I read the Halcyon comics.
Yeah, and like Tom said, you got to read Princess and the Scoundrel. I just finished that like less than a month ago, and that is like, I should have read that before I went on the ship. I read it at the wrong time. Instead of being done with the ship, I should have read it before, because it made it so much better, and the moments in that book would have been great to know when I had moments on the ship in those same locations. I don't want to spoil who and where, but some crazy stuff happened that made me appreciate locations more, and I was like, I wish I would have had that thought process when I was aboard the ship and known things happened.
So
it's like hindsight.
So what kind of Star Wars fan are you, right? Like, what's your favorite movie?
Oh man, I am so bad at like picking a favorite and stuff. I feel like, because I'm always like, it's what I'm in the mood for at that time.
Yeah. That's fair. It's the same with us. It kind of just rotates.
I will say, I was a big Return of the Jedi fan for a long time.
It's a beautiful film.
It's my favorite.
Second favorite for me. But
second favorite?
Yeah, second favorite. I have a very controversial first favorite, and it's The Last Jedi. Unapologetically love that movie.
And it's still canon. Man, still canon, by the way.
I got a Metallica buddy that would love to argue with you on that one.
No, really? I never met anybody who wanted to argue with me about The Last Jedi.
And then when you invite them on a show, they don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Or if you ask them on the internet, they just go,
the Jedi I would still stand by it for now. It's hard for me to, I see the whole saga like cohesively, but at the same time, my brain still wants to kind of put it into 3 different eras of my life. So it's hard for me to like pick one out of all of them. It's like I can maybe pick, my favorite from those those sections.
Yeah.
But I was like, from the initial 3, Return of the Jedi is my favorite for the longest time. So
okay.
Nice. I know I have a bias to The Last Jedi for a similar reason to that. I mean, the first media event I ever got invited to because of the podcast was Star Wars Celebration. And we got to go, and I met Ryan Johnson the night before. We stayed in line of a panel.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. We got to see the trailer. It was the one that's Time for the Jedi to End. That trailer, the world premiere for that. So, like, I know I'm biased to it. There's emotions that go into anything.
And it's a good movie. It's not like you're biased to Attack of the Clones or something.
That's true.
I think you would still like it, even if you didn't have those biases. Because Tom and I love it too, and we don't have any of that.
I also that I'm aware that I have that. Though, you know what I mean? Like, I still think that's the best of the 3 by far.
Yeah,
it's fair.
By
the sequel trilogy? Yeah.
By far. But yeah, I kind of feel the same way about that because I'm like, I try to be as objective as possible, but that one's tough because that was just such a fucking awesome whirlwind of
experience.
Events.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, when people ask me about, your favorite Metallica show you've ever been to, and it's it's more than that. I think it's an experience that's tied to it. Maybe if that experience that I had around it didn't happen, I may not feel the same way. I don't know, but
Walt Disney
good movie is a good movie, but when you have all of that other stuff tied to it too, it's like different.
He's right. Every time I think about my favorite Metallica show, I go to the Vegas show, but then the 40th moved me emotionally because that was the first time I heard Orion. So it's like so many different experiences. Like that same weekend, I went and saw Evan's favorite movie, Spider-Man 3.
Yeah,
Spider-Man. Yeah, we're homecoming. No way, if far from again.
Yeah,
no way, far from homecoming.
Yep.
Well, Walt Disney had a favorite. Walt Disney had a famous quote, and they asked him, "What is your favorite movie you've ever produced?" He said, "It's the one you're watching right now."
It's a good answer.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's a corporate answer.
Yeah, it's a good one though.
Whichever one you're buying a ticket
safe
to.
Corporate answer. I mean, I do feel, I got burnt out. I will say I got burnt out on Star Wars for a while. Because I've always liked it, and I've always been a fan. And when I was younger, and Episode 1 and all of that stuff was coming out, and that was such a huge deal, and being there the first weekend to see it and everything. But then when they started doing the last few movies, and then there was Solo, and all these other things were coming out, I just kind of got a little burnt out myself, and I just was kind of like, okay, all right, I need a break. So like when the show started happening, like Mandalorian and stuff, I didn't start watching it until I think season 2 had started, or maybe it already finished. And that's when I think it was sort of like getting back into Star Wars universe, but it wasn't exactly Star Wars, but like I was really into it. And my roommate, he was starting to really get back into it. And then I kind of slowly started creeping in again. And then after we went to Galaxy's Edge, and I got, it was my first time going, and it was just after that I just kind of went over the cliff and was back in, and just like everything is amazing. I love all of this.
Disney pulled somebody back in again. Look at that.
I'm a firm believer that it should be one project a year. I don't care if it's a TV show.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a movie.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's an animated series. Yeah. But I like the year lead up to the next thing. Mm. That is like my favorite part of Star Wars, is like they did it the best they could ever possibly do it leading up to The Force Awakens.
Well, yeah, they had the luxury of it being since 2005.
Yeah,
I totally understand that. I understand that.
The only way they can replicate is if they just don't do anything for 20 years.
But like, just don't do anything for 3 years.
Yeah.
You will still have that buzz coming back. I'm telling you, man. Star Wars fans love the build-up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I think, I agree with you on that. I think that,
Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know. Right now, I would say, what did I just rewatch? I just rewatched Rogue One recently. I was in a Rogue One mood. But I loved Andor so much.
Hang up on him. Hang up on him.
No. He's big Metallica fan as I am, and he's probably taller than Kyle, and he likes Andor.
That's not saying much.
That's true. Austin, do you know Kyle's mom?
I've heard of her. I've heard the legend.
Oh, he's heard of her. He's heard of her.
He's heard her.
How did he herd her? We all know.
Heard her.
The cow catcher on the end of the strap on. Anyway, so we were talking about Star Wars. So no, that's awesome. So
it's that lead up to movies, I feel like, and projects that we don't really have as much anymore, like we should. That
especially with Marvel.
Kind of leads into that community building, because you just have all that time to talk with fans and be like, what do you think's going to happen, or what do you can't wait for, like what is it? And it's that community building.
And when you're getting a new show every 6 months and it's 6 weeks at a time, it's like,
let's ask, now that Dave Filoni is chief creative officer at Lucasfilm, is this what we're going to get now? Are we going to,
as of today, right? Like,
yes,
let's go.
That's so wild.
I love it. I think, is this the first time that they've had a dedicated Kevin Feige
of only Star Wars?
Yeah,
it's not like Lucasfilm where it's Indiana Jones and Willow and Star Wars.
There's going to be no more of those things.
That's okay. So. Good. There shouldn't be.
They canceled Willow off of Disney Plus. They just erased it.
There's only 2.5 Indiana Jones movies anyway.
Kyle's
so that's
punching
fine.
air.
He was my idol. Will no.
So, no, this is spectacular news. I mean, if you're going to put anybody at the helm, it's got to be him.
It's got to be him. I was actually surprised that it wasn't him.
Yeah.
And
Favreau would be like an acceptable choice too. I feel like.
Sure, but Filoni's is the number one clear cut choice.
Yeah.
Oh, if you have to pick one of the two, absolutely.
He's George's Padawan.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Now I remember. I think we were mostly all in when this was rumors years ago, but we were still a little hesitant. But like now we're like, nope, we'll take it. We want it after the stuff they've done recently. We're like,
I just think you need someone in charge to make the decisions.
Yes.
And it seems like they're leaving that up to somebody who can't make good decisions.
Put a chicken in, make her gay.
There you go.
There you go.
Yep. Exactly.
It was the put a chicken at make her gay clip.
Did you see the South Park episode?
Pandaverse.
No,
you got to watch Pandaverse.
I'm not a huge South Park watcher.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. But they really had a fun time at Kathleen Kennedy's expense on the most recent episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll have to look at the most recent.
Yeah. Check it out.
Yeah. No, I think this is incredible news. This is what Lucasfilm needs right now. This is what they need. They need someone who can go in and go, that's a good idea. Because I feel, and this is all speculation on my part, but I feel like these cool things were getting pitched and greenlit without any real thought behind it. They were like, yeah, that's a great idea. Do it. And then it just wouldn't work out because you either couldn't commit or you didn't have the budget, or he's gonna know how and what style to do. Like the Lando show to me lends itself to animation,
100%.
and I could see him making those tough decisions where it's like, that's a great idea for this medium.
And Billy D would totally do the older Lando because he did it in that Lego special you're talking about. So Billy D's fine doing Lando animated. It's just, and that's probably better for a Childish Gambino schedule. That man is crazy busy, so he'd probably rather just record in a booth for a couple hours and call it good.
I just think this is going to be really refreshing for Star Wars to have someone at the helm in essentially a Kevin Feige role. Just, dear God, don't do what he did with the MCU.
No, and that's, like you said, that's part of the problem.
I was about to say, I feel like try to avoid what has happened with the MCU and everything that's going on with that right now.
Well, that's a good lesson. You can look right across the way.
Need somebody like
perfect
what
timing.
not to do.
Yeah, to learn from that mistake.
And Marvel
something
suffers
that you
from
thought was
fatigue.
indestructible. You could run it into the ground. Something could happen.
Absolutely. By the way, Kyle doing this whole revelation that Galactic should be the head, the new. Is he listening to my old podcast? I've been saying that for years.
Well, Kyle doesn't listen to anything I say.
Well, he listens to what I say. That's my opinion.
I mean, he hears squishy noises when I'm over there porking his mother, so maybe he's like PTSD from that.
Jesus. that was graphic.
That was.
Hey, he's all Baltimore brownies and stuff, and like had to read that on air and lost my shit.
Oh, made me laugh so hard.
It was good. So, Austin, you're actually like so we didn't even mention this at the top of the show. But your MetallicA podcast royalty, you're the guest on their first podcast episode ever. That's fucking wild. And now you're on Jedi Talk, so take that, Megadeth.
no,
you peaked early. You peaked early. Is all I'm
glad to be here. No, I didn't even know that's what that interview was going to be for. So, because they couldn't tell me, so I didn't know till someone texted me that morning and was like, "Oh, you're on Metallica's podcast." And I was like, "Oh, that's what that was for."
Nice.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
So nonchalant.
Yeah.
I love that.
So nonchalant. It was like the first ever.
Well, spoiler alert, we're sending this to Kathleen Kennedy with all your thoughts. So that's what this recording's for.
Yeah, right.
We know some of them listen. She probably doesn't, but someone there is listening.
Does.
Yeah.
Someone does.
Someone's listening.
Someone's listening, man. There's been too many of the things we said that have happened.
Ty Verasi.
Do you know that? No, who cares?
We talk about it once every couple months. Like, yeah. But they do listen.
You got a favorite Metallica album?
The one you're listening to right now.
Probably. Well,
didn't Lars say that once?
Yeah, I'll say Justice and Justice for All.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It was like my gateway Metallica album, so that is my favorite.
My gateway Metallica album was S&M.
That's a weird one.
I know. I had heard them sporadically.
There's a Kyle's mom joke in there somewhere.
Yes, I mean we do lots of S&M and listen to it at the same time over at the dungeon. That's what I call our basement, the dungeon.
That's what the room Kyle grew up in.
Yeah,
a little no-leaf clover in the dungeon.
Yeah. Austin Manning, he learned no-leaf clover in Kyle's Mom's Dungeon.
That's hilarious.
That could be two
Kyle's Mom's Dungeon.
Yeah. So,
Kyle's childhood room.
Yes.
The dungeon now.
Yes. It's got great lighting. You see right out.
It really stunted his growth. That
Yeah.
somebody's do some
The
research.
fluorescent vibes.
Yeah, somebody needs to do some research on those bulbs.
The stages will do that to you.
That's right.
Stunt your growth a little bit.
I'm loving the shit out of 72 seasons right now, though. From the blackened whiskey all the way to the meaning of the album, I fucking love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's cool. It's definitely, I liked Hardwired. That was just like a fun time, but I think the context of that album is like, we hadn't had an album in, however many years.
Yeah.
We hadn't like a proper tour in a long time. But I feel like 72 Seasons feels very flushed out and, there is a story and
right.
I don't know, a whole thing about it. So, yeah, it's been really fun seeing, I got a couple of song premieres on the tour, which was cool. And
hell yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was great hearing the songs live. I think the last show, the last show, I got to enjoy most of it with, what's his name? Why am I forgetting his name right now? Master Distiller for Blackened.
Oh,
why am I forgetting his name?
Dave Pickle?
Well, not Dave. Well, I have met Dave. Before he passed away.
Yeah.
But Rob, sorry, Whiskey Rob.
Oh, Whiskey Rob, yeah.
Teacher.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
he's such a nice dude. Got to do a lot of hanging out with him during this last tour, so that was cool. But the last show, yeah, we rocked out most of the show together in the Snake Pit, so that was super fun.
that's so fucking cool.
Next time you see him, tell him I said that the blackened cast strength kicks ass. That's coming from a bourbon.
Wait, what was that?
Next time you see him, let him know that a hardcore bourbon dork said that the blackened cast strength is really, really good.
Oh God, I will. And it is it is strong.
It's so good, man.
That and like the Willet was a little much for me.
Well, Willet's trash, so I wouldn't have bought that just based on the Willet. Well, not all Willet is trash, but it's some bourbon dork shit. They distill in a pot still, and it doesn't make as pure of a spirit. So when it interacts with the wood, it's not as good. That's a big problem with a lot of Willets.
When it interacts with the wood, it's not as good.
Just like Kyle's mom.
Ooh.
Just like
Wait.
I knew that there was a Kyle's mom coming in that one. Not
all Willet is made that way, but some of the Willet is, and I would assume whatever they're sourcing for blackened was probably that pot still whiskey, which is probably why he didn't like it. Pot still is good for stuff like rum and that kind of stuff, but it's not good in whiskey and bourbon. More so bourbon, which is what blackened is.
Yes.
It's a finished bourbon.
The more I hang out with all of you, the more I realize I need a second hobby.
I've been telling you that for a long time.
Lego is a close, but it's not quite. Because you two are both like, I can tell you everything Star Wars, and Brad is like, I can tell you everything whiskey.
Not everything.
Tom is like, I can tell you everything Metallica. I'm like, everything Star Wars and some Lego, and that's about it.
I don't know shit about whiskey.
Disney history, I guess, but like that's not really a hobby.
Yeah.
So
I don't know
I need
shit
to
about
up
whiskey.
my Lego, I guess.
I mean, Disney history, I would say that's a hobby. There's a lot of Disney history.
It's a rabbit
quite
hole
a
for
bit.
sure.
Yeah, it's
Rabbit
definitely
hole
a
for
rabbit
sure,
hole,
yeah.
but
The more you know, the more you want
As
to know.
my roommate would
you think you know
very
everything.
well know.
yeah.
Every time you think
He's
you know
like up
everything
here,
about
right?
Disney
He
history,
just came
you know.
upstairs and
Oh.
he's like smirking.
There's always a bigger
he's
fish.
Quite the historian when it comes to Disney and Star Wars and
Nice.
and
Love it.
Legos, really.
Ooh.
Which concert shirt are you wearing?
This is from 2021?
Is that Welcome to Rockville?
Yes. No, this one was from
Is that when we went?
Louisville.
We went to Walk.
Louder Than Life. Louder Than
Okay.
Life.
Were you at Welcome to Rockville?
No,
Okay.
I originally, before COVID happened, I did have tickets to all of those festivals,
Okay.
to every single one.
All the Danny
And
Woodward
then
ones,
James
yeah.
went to rehab, and then
Yeah.
some got canceled, and then COVID happened, and everything got canceled. So I ended up not doing them all when they were back on. I just did Louder Than Life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brad's first and only Metallica show was the second Welcome to Rockville show. I went to both. He was at the second one where they played the Black Album, all of the Black Album on their 30th. So he saw that.
Oh, yeah.
finish
That
it.
was awesome. I told Tom this. I'm a Metallica fan, but I actually would say I'm not a Metallica fan. But here's why I say that. I love Metallica, but I don't know them enough that if I was talking to somebody like you or Tom about them, I could hang in a conversation. And that's why I don't put the label fan on myself unless I know what I'm talking about and know enough to be able to have
That's fair.
Have an informed conversation about it. But I love their music.
Yeah, I respect that. I think that I'm trying to think I was pretty spoiled. My first show was all of Ride the Lightning, including Escape.
Yeah, that's
which
the
is the one and only time they
thing.
have ever played it, and it is the one and only time it'll probably ever be played.
Wait, why?
And then the next day, I got all the Black Album.
Oh yeah, and Orion music.
And then the following year, I got all of Kill 'Em All. So it's very lucky.
So why don't they play that song?
So they were basically forced to write that song and they're trying to like a radio friendly kind of tune, and they just like to stay away from it. James
is it a bad
like
song?
It's really not.
Is it just like he doesn't like being told he has to play?
It's a very generic song. I'm not a huge fan of it. I have a friend from England who he loves Escape for some reason. I don't know why he likes it so much.
And my new favorite Metallica song.
Your new favorite. Nice.
Yeah, it's very generic, but yeah, I remember that night James was just like, is there anything else we can play that's not this? But only one time.
I mean,
it sounds like a Guitar Hero 3 song or something.
It does.
Yeah.
But when you listen, it's you can see how
it's on Ride the Lightning?
Yeah. Number 6.
Yeah.
It's right.
This doesn't sound like this album at all.
Exactly.
It really doesn't.
It's like this next to For Whom the Bell Tolls?
Yeah. No, it's like, between Trapped Under Ice and right before Creeping Death.
That's this is odd.
Yeah, so weird.
It's not bad.
No, it's not like awful, but sometimes it could be misplaced on Ride. But like I've been listening to this song on Ride the Lightning for so long, it's like I can't imagine Ride the Lightning without it. You know, it's like Ride the Lightning is my favorite Metallica album. It was 72 Seasons, my second favorite. Like, but Ride is like a special.
Now it's your favorite, not your favorite anymore.
No, it was always my second favorite.
No, on the podcast you did with Kyle, it was your favorite.
No, I said second favorite.
I don't think so.
Yes,
I mean you would know better than me.
1000% said second favorite at that time. I didn't put it over Ride yet.
Receipts. Pull out the receipts.
I mean, I have to go back and look at that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can. Well, I'll look after the podcast because we're wrapping up here soon. But
well, it sounds like the song isn't as bad as the holiday special, but it sounds like it's
look at this
the similar version of like Metallica's holiday special.
Now, the holiday special equivalent in Metallica world would be probably
Lulu. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they have something that they don't like to talk about. That's what I kind of thought the song was.
Yeah.
They have something even worse. They don't want to talk about.
I know about that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely Lulu. Yeah, that was something.
Well, give it some time. Maybe the fandom will latch onto it and they'll sell a bunch of merch of it. And
Metallica fandom won't latch on.
No.
I tried to put that on your
Dane Anger is having a moment, I think, but I don't think that. I don't think Lulu's ever gonna.
Did they ever play any of those songs live ever?
Yes, they played them with Lou Reed at the 30th anniversary shows at the Fillmore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the only time that will happen.
One of the nights,
the only time ever.
Yeah, because Lou Reed died.
Rest in peace.
So they need to make a documentary about this song, is what you're saying.
Well, I don't think they're going to make a documentary about this. They've done a documentary in Some Kind of Monster, which turns 20 years in January, by the way.
That's 20 years old already?
Yeah, I'm going to do a special Fourth Mother Box show on that one.
Are you still doing Master?
What was that?
Good old Phil Towel and his sweaters.
Yeah, that'll come back once I get, So, Evan, but talking about the holiday special, that has a documentary coming up, I've heard.
Yeah, soon, I guess. I didn't know it was this soon. We just watched the trailer an hour ago, but yeah, that thing looks incredible.
It looks so much fun. Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, and the late Gilbert Godfrey.
I didn't like the movie.
Kevin Smith.
I kind of forgot that he passed away like not that long ago.
I know.
I know. But that is wild to me, and it's going to be on some kind of streaming.
Is lumpy.
That is great.
I can't wait to see it.
It's all in the mannerisms and that. You got the
scrunchy face.
Yeah. Yep, you got it down. But
it's squinty eyes.
Yeah,
taking a jump.
I have no idea how long this documentary is going to be. I don't think anyone does.
Well, it's premiering. It said it was premiering at South by Southwest, so I think we need to apply for media and go to South by Southwest.
Yes, yeah. I mean, if that happens,
Do
that'd be
it.
sick.
That'd be fun. Look at Tom. The wheels are turning.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
When is the? Oh no, it's like December 25th, isn't it? Something like that.
Christmas?
It's
On
around,
Christmas?
It was Christmas. It was around Christmas time.
Oh wow. All right. Well, then I don't know about that.
Never mind. I'll catch it on
I know,
Hulu.
I'm looking
Yes.
forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
I love the controversy around the holiday special.
Yep. We all do.
Oh, we
It's
all
weird-
do. I love that shit.
It's weird that Disney's trying to make it a thing.
Which is Life Day?
They noticed the fans were, so they like took advantage of it. and said,
Money.
money.
Yeah, totally.
All right. We're
Totally latched onto it.
What was that?
Do we have money as a drop?
I said, yeah,
The Mr.
No,
Krabs clip.
no, I'll get it.
Mr.
I'll get
Krabs,
it.
why'd
gotta
you
remind
open
me.
a Krusty Krab too?
I did add this one.
Money.
Nice.
Yeah. Austin, any last thoughts? Star Wars, Metallica, anything you want to say before we close up shop here on your inaugural visit to the Jedi Talk? And when you're because are you coming to the Halcyon Legacy meetups? Is that right?
Oh yeah, yeah, we are.
I'm sorry that I'll
Literally, as
apologize
soon
in
as
advance when we disappoint.
As soon as it popped up, my roommate messaged our we still have our Halcyon group chat that we pretty much talk in every day.
Yeah, so do we.
And he was like, "I've already reserved the timeshare for these dates, and this is happening. Everybody's welcome." And so
Nice.
everybody is we're cabin was it 4104 will ride again.
Nice.
So we will be there.
Do you have any idea on what faction you might join?
Join the cause.
I'm
Where did that come
I'm definitely thinking I'm still gonna go First Order.
Ooh, nice.
Fucking cuck.
He knows the right side.
So I can't speak for my roommate David over here, but yeah, that's
David,
that's what
join
I'm
the
doing.
cause. Who said that?
That wasn't as scary that time, but who said that?
Well, David had to hear it. So.
Oh, true.
You gotta join the cause.
Thank you, Gilbert.
Gilbert. Well,
So
I don't think David will ever go Dark Side First Order
Samesies.
ever.
good. We don't want your ilk.
No, that's just
You
it's
don't
not his
deserve my
nature.
ilk. Kyle's my deserves my ilk.
right in the eye, the left eye.
All right. Well,
Any last thoughts?
Austin, you're the first official First Order confirmation, so welcome.
Oh, look
welcome.
at that.
Yes.
History.
Oh,
Yes.
We have a lot
yeah.
of fun
I
planned.
I don't know what. Yeah, I'm not sure who Chuck, Aaron, and Joe are planning on going. I have to talk to them about that tonight. But yeah, no, definitely going First Order faction.
Sweet.
Oh, right. Aaron, I think, is actually going to be one of the. Yeah, she's doing like a character.
Oh shoot,
Yeah,
that's
I think.
that Aaron. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, she's
Yeah,
one of
that
our
Aaron.
NPCs. She's one of our NPCs. Yeah.
Rude.
So she's the code
Yes,
breaker.
yeah.
Oh, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sick. Okay, that made me even twice as excited.
Wow, look at
Like,
that.
Yeah.
Look at that
It's
connection.
a small world after
You mean
all.
we're all
Shoot
one
yourself.
galaxy? Is what you mean?
One galaxy. All right. Well, Austin, thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining. We appreciate you being on Jedi Talk.
Yeah,
Yes,
thanks for
dude.
having me, guys.
Let's get
and,
you in
yeah, I'd love
person.
to come back in
Yeah, in
March.
person. In
Yeah,
March,
dude,
let's get
yeah,
you in
dude.
person. We'll talk more Metallica. Maybe we'll sip on some Blackened. I know Brad would be down for that.
Yes.
So Brad,
Down
take
for that.
us.
Thank
home.
you guys for listening, and thank you, Austin, for coming on the show. We will see you on the next one. Until then, stay safe. May the Force be with you.
Always. And for you, Austin, for the order, Tabuite.
Rise, Jedi Knight.
That does not make sense.